Before I start my video, can you do me a favour? Click on like, click on subscribe. Make this stupid head smile from there to there. This video is going to feature this alto saxophone. This little fella is a 1963 Conn 6M. And yes, it's the later model. And no, it doesn't have the naked lady, but it's got Conn, Elkhart, Indiana on here. This is the model directly after the famous lady face, but don't let that put you off, because there is a lot of snobbery, because I know some people will go, it's not a lady face, it's going to be garbage. Well, the answer, no, it's not. You've got to try one first, so that's exactly why I'm doing this video. So yes, some of these were made in Elkhart, Indiana, for example, like this one, and some even later models were made in Mexico, and I know the name that they used for them were called Mexicans, and yeah, you can do the maths because you can work it out. This one is in very good condition. When I got it, it needed a complete overhaul. This is how it looked. Notice that it has a little bit of grime and dirt between the keywork. Well, I should say the keywork that's not there anymore, but you know what I mean. Also, them pads, they were just like me, old and ugly. So, of course, they had to be changed out. And of course, I checked all the mechanic, tightened it up a bit, made it nice, tight and right. So after I polished the keys, I put some brand new, nice, shiny pads in. Look at them, aren't they beautiful? Actually, I popped off to Germany for a couple of days and I left the alto clamped down. And that gave it enough time for them rings to be cut nicely into the pads. When I got back, I made some minor adjustments and it looks like this. Have a listen to the sound of the keywork. Doesn't that sound nice? And one thing you might notice is the bell keys are not there. They're on this side. They're on the left-hand side of the bell. And yeah, that's a cute little quirky thing going on with them. And it's just one of the designs that they kept in the later runs. The bell has this engraving on where it says Conn Elkhart, Indiana, or Conn Elkhart, Ind. Now overall, the condition of this one is really, really good. There's a couple of little mini dings, one on the side of the bell here, and another one, I can't find it, it's that small. But anyway, there's one mini ding there, but it's not really going to affect anything. But apart from that, it's 99.99% immaculate. Now let's take off this neck because I want to show you this thing. It's the underslung neck. There's the mechanism like that. It's got this little bit of felt there which I put on to make it a bit more soft and dampened, no key noise when you're operating that mechanism. And it's a double socket neck. That means there's the outer ring and there's a little ring on the inside. Let's see if we can capture that in this light. It's probably easier if I just take a picture of it and stick it up there, and then you can see it right now. With this being a double socket neck, it fits like a glove and it feels very secure in that area. I wonder why they call them Mercedes key guards. Have a look at the shape. That might give you a clue. And no, the saxophone is not made by Mercedes. They just named that key guard thing because it looks like the symbol for Mercedes. Again, you understand what I mean. It has 6M written on the back of it there. As I mentioned already, the low B flat and B keys are on the left hand side just here, and you've got this key guard in silver, nickel silver, which you can actually unscrew at these points here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can take that off, and that means you can take the keys out and regulate it. It's a very good little device, and I actually like that sort of system a lot. It's a very secure way to protect them low keys. You've got these lovely pearlized greenish, creamy, greeny, whatever, coloured rollers there on the low C and E flat. You've also got the matching rollers on this pinky cluster here, which does look a bit strange, but it really functions well. My hands are a bit bigger, so when I'm going down for B flat, I can operate that very easily down there. That feels really nice for me. I like that mechanism. The left hand and the right hand together, they feel very nice. And yes, I'm doing my little sound again, but it feels so smooth. And I know that they have what you call inline tone holes. In other words, the tone holes that are bored into the body of the saxophone, they go in a straight line down. Most saxophones nowadays have what you call offset tone holes. The tone holes on the left are a little bit here. The tone holes on the right are kind of set to the right hand side a little bit. So it's a bit more ergonomically sound, but this doesn't feel uncomfortable in any way. The palm keys, they feel very nice. They look very funky and, old-fashioned and cute. And I like that. It looks old and funky, but they feel very functional. I'm not going to give my little friend the octave key the chance to wiggle, because that's normally what it does. I just want to show you it because it's a nice little intricate system there. Look at that. That is very, very cute looking. And you've even got a guard for the pip at the top of the octave key right there. Look at that. There's no high F sharp here, but that's okay. I don't mind that at all. But all in all, it's a very smooth feeling saxophone under the fingers. But the most important thing, how does it sound? So I'm going to get my mouthpiece on it. I'm using my Dukoff D8. And yes, that's known as a powerful, bright mouthpiece, but that's what I like to play. Anyway, let's get into it, and I'll speak to you lot after I've made a noise on this little beauty. So there you have it. What do you think of this little cutie? Well, even though it's an alto, and you know, that's almost like a real saxophone, alto players, it's called a joke. Anyway, for the people who have a sense of humour, real saxophone players, I am so happy that I put the work into this, because now it feels like a joy to play. It was needing that work. You've seen the condition of the old pads and the condition in general. It just needed that full blitz to bring it back to life. The sound on it, the tone is really sweet. It worked particularly well with my Dukoff. And I was a little bit skeptical at first because, of course, the Dukoffs are bright. And yes, I have a brighter sound, but that's my preference, so I don't care what you think anyway. But it worked really well with the Dukoff. It was very nice. The tuning, the intonation, everything about this alto was great. It was a lot better than I expected. I've heard a lot of negative vibes about these later non-naked lady altos, but I want to throw that garbage out the window because this particular one is very good. There's nothing negative, apart from it being an alto, that I can say about it. I mean, it's a great little saxophone. So to those people who maybe have prejudged these later 6Ms, I think you might get a bit of a surprise how good they actually are. Maybe the later ones, they might not be as good as these slightly earlier ones, which are just over the line from changing from the Naked Lady to this, where it just says Conn, Elkhart, Indiana. Maybe there's something in that, but this production here is very nice. If I was to be fussy, the only thing I would say is that because this neck here is the double socket neck, I can't really have interchangeable necks because that seems to be quite popular nowadays. People take a saxophone, change the neck over, and then you get a different tonal quality. You can't really do it with this, although I'm sure I could modify a neck to fit over there, but is it worth the hassle? I'm not sure, because the neck that's on it works fine as it is. I'm just being fussy. And also the neck does look pretty cool. I like these underslung mechanisms, and I've liked the look of these underslung mechanisms since I was about that big. Conn 6M from 1963 is definitely a big green tick in my book. I think it's a very sweet little alto, and they are a lot cheaper than the Naked Lady versions, so you've got that to think about. But it's still a very good alto in its own right. Definitely worth a try. Maybe you've learned something, because I actually learned a lot just by stripping this down and rebuilding it and playing it. I also prejudged, so I'm not having a go at you lot out there for something I didn't already do myself. Because I did initially think, well, I've picked this up, it's probably okay, but it really exceeded my expectations. I hope this video has exceeded your expectations, so thank you very much for checking it out, and you're going to catch me in the next video. Have a sweet little day.